Hi, so in this video, I am gonna kind of make it a little bit instructional, but then I'm gonna let you go and then do the assignment piece on your own. So on the screen, I have just a screenshot of the digital version of this page that I gave you guys. So this is a reading from Barron's test prep book for AP Psychology. It's a really condensed excerpt just about the history of where psychology started and where it is now. So you might even be reading some of this and being like, man, how did they move from Plato to the 20th century? And so it is really condensed, but they're just trying to show you that people have been thinking about the mind for a really long time. So they're just kind of building up, where did psychology come from? So the way I want you to read this, I'm going to do this on my screen so you can see it also. I would like for you to, in the margins, so I'll do this right here. I would like you to just do like a really brief summary of each little section. And the reason why that's important is because each section goes from waves. So wave one, it's just a title they've given it, but just the first people who started thinking about psychology, and then how it changes a little bit. Okay, now these people are thinking about the mind in this way. Okay, now these people are thinking about the mind in this way. And so they're calling them waves, like waves of new thought about the study of psychology. And so what I want you to do is I want you to just do a little bracket, and then out in the margins, if you could summarize that wave into just a few words, that would be what I would like you to do on the margin. So I'm just going to put summary right here. And then another thing I'd like you to look for is, I mean, of course, if you see a bold word, like you can see Wilhelm Wundt right here is a bold word, that matches the key terms at the top of the page. Those are things that you have to know. If you notice on your vocabulary fill in the blank practice test, those are all repeated on your vocabulary that you need to know. So it would be a good idea for you to make note of each person or each term that is bolded, and just put, I mean, you don't have to like be redundant and rewrite what is already said in the paragraph, but you should maybe take a highlighter and then just note, what did that person do? So Wilhelm Wundt, he set up the first psychological laboratory. So he was the first one to actually scientifically study psychology. He didn't just think about the mind. He didn't just like have all these, he was actually studying it in a laboratory, human behavior in the mind in a laboratory. So you don't necessarily have to like define him in the margin, but just make sure that you know who that is by either highlighting or circling within the text. So by the end of this, what you should have is you should have each paragraph, you should have a bracket and a short summary. Like it can be 3 words. If you want to summarize wave 1 in 3 words, that's fine. I just want you to be thinking about, how did psychology change? And if we were to go down the margin here and we would go wave 1, these were kind of what psychologists were thinking. In wave 2, these were how psychologists were thinking. We could easily go through and read your margin if you have 3 words for each paragraph really quickly, and you won't need to go through and reread this again. So I would like for you to do that for each wave. We're going to go all the way to wave 5. I want you to stop. I don't know if you can even see this here, but I want you to stop at wave 5, and we are not going to move on to the perspectives. The perspectives will be for the next class period. So I just want you to get the history part. So stop after all the waves. Do the short summaries on the side, and then make sure that you are making note of those terms that are bolded, especially the people. They want you to know the history of psychology and the people that were influential in changing the way that the study of psychology is done and thought about. So that's your instructions. I'll repeat it one more time. So you're going to do 3-word summaries for each paragraph or each wave of psychology and the history of psychology, and then you're going to just make sure that you make note in the paragraphs of those different people in bolded terms, and then you're going to bring that to class with you next class time. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Reach out if you are uncertain, and have fun.